What's up, y'all? Welcome to Yap U.
Yap U ski.
I'm your girl, Ehi.
And I'm Gabriell Janae.
All right. Let's get into it. Like, how do you feel about when men ask, like, what do you bring to the table?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks. No. Listen. I'm a bit old-fashioned. Like, I'm an old-fashioned girl. Because I want to be taken care of. Like, hello? I'm a lady. I don't want to struggle. The hell, you know? So I just feel like men and women do have roles. And it doesn't have to be the traditional role of whatever typically, historically, men and women do. But it has to be agreed upon. It has to be a clear boundary, a clear guideline of your role and my role. Some things may overlap, whatever the case. So in the situation, what do you bring to the table? If you're not bringing to the table the things that he needs in a relationship, then you don't bring nothing.
Right.
Like, you don't bring anything.
Right.
If so, just be yourself. The things that you want to do in a relationship. If you believe that women should stay in the kitchen and cook and clean or whatever and let the man take care of everything else, say that. And if he appreciates that and he's like, hey, amazing, I can take care of everything else. You just keep my house clean and my belly fed. Cool. What's the problem? You know, I hate the conversation 50-50, all this, all that. What do you bring? What should a woman do? What should a man do? Come as you are. Tell them what you're capable of. Tell them what you would actually do in a relationship. Because if you start a relationship on some fake shit, oh yeah, I can match whatever energy you have. I can do this, I can do that. Then the energy dies and y'all both sitting around looking at each other like, so are you going to do something? Are you?
Right.
It doesn't work.
Right. I think where the misunderstanding is coming from is the societal pressure, right? Mm-hmm. Of like trying to look cool for your friends or whatever. Every relationship will be unique. Like, of course, every girl wants to brag about how her man's doing this, and that. And so everyone's looking for a provider or a man that can, you know, uphold that lifestyle.
Right.
But when it comes to men, they already feel pressure with, like, they feel like they don't have value unless they have money.
Yeah. For sure.
Like, they feel like they are not human
Yeah.
until they have a certain level of money and structure in their lives. And to the point where, like, they feel like they can't even date or even, you know, approach a woman.
Because women now are like, fuck you, pay me.
Yeah.
So if you only got $10 for our date, but you can go get ice cream and talk, take a walk. You can literally go to all the free events. We live in Chicago. There's so much free events. Like,
you brought up transactions. I feel like everyone's trying to see how much they can get out of the relationship with also seeing how little they can put into it. Like, no one's genuinely like, okay, let's give it our all, both of us. And
because
like,
we have all become working girls. Like, we're trying to be like, okay, I give head for $20. And now it's like, okay, I cook dinner and have kids for a salary of X amount.
Right.
It's very
There's no love.
It's very like, fuck you, pay me. Like, which is crazy. I don't want to live like that.
I don't either.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
I'm a lover girl. Like, I'm a sweet girl. Like, yes, things have to be done. Like, doy. You know. And I do have expectations of my man, like, of course, because I think it's a respect thing. I think your man should respect you as a woman and as a person so much that they want you to be happy. They don't want you burdened down by the things of the world and stuff like that. They will take more of the burden when it comes in that department. And then you as a woman help uplift them. You help heal them. You help bring them back from all the pain and suffering that they feel.
For sure. I think what's understood is not to be explained.
Yeah.
And what happens is everyone's like, well, if you're going to be with me, then you have to do this, and this, and like meet this criteria. But you can show that. Like, you don't have to say that out loud. Like, if you're a boss, he gonna look at you and be like, damn, you a boss.
Just
like,
move that way.
Yeah. Just move. You don't gotta say too much. Like, carry yourself that way and stand on your principles. If you're like, oh, I want you to do this, and this, then if he's not meeting that criteria, cut him. Like, it's that simple. You don't have to keep talk. Like, you gotta do this. If he's not doing it, drop him. Yeah. There's no need to over-explain yourself in the beginning. Because the man is going to treat you accordingly.
Exactly.
He's going to treat you how you allow him to treat you. And I don't know. That's all I got to say about it.
I think men and women really are simple creatures. But with men, the simplicity is just, it's so black and white with them when it comes to so many things. And so it's like, yeah, you can throw your emotions on it and do this and do that. I feel like that's a huge turn off to them, which they know women are emotional. They just have to deal with it. But it's like, if you can only lead with your emotion to where at the point where it don't even make no damn sense, it's like, girl, chill. Regulate your nervous system a little bit.
For sure.
Because it's like, if somebody was doing that to you, you would not like that. If somebody's just dumping you and being real frazzled, like, it's crazy to be around people like that, you know? And it's just like, you have to meet them where they are. You're not dealing with a woman, you're dealing with a man. You have to have some understanding of a man, right? Okay, they get overwhelmed when I be stressed and crying and crashing out. So I'm gonna make it easier. I'm gonna be chill. If I have something to say to him, I'm not gonna snap off at him because he's not gonna fucking listen.
Right.
I'm just gonna respectfully say, hey, this is what I don't like. If he doesn't change, give him a couple days, you know, don't be crazy and just cut every nigga that ever looks at you the wrong way, right? If you want to go out and date and find love, because nobody's perfect. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to deal with your stuff with people. It is what it is.
For sure.
But it's also like, have some understanding. Speak your mind, clear and concise. If you don't follow, it was what it was. Yeah. But you do have to approach the situation, I feel like, in a certain way. Because we're not little girls anymore. We're women.
And then within approaching it in a calm manner, that comes the aspect of respect. Men don't look for love. They look for respect.
Exactly.
That is how you show them that you love them. Mm-hmm. When you submit to them and let them lead and you respect their decisions and you listen to their sound logic. Like, men are very logical.
Yeah.
These are things I've learned throughout relationships.
Like,
you know what I mean? Like,
they be logical, but they don't be right all the time with their logic.
For sure.
But I be like,
because it's very black and white for them.
No,
they don't care about the gray.
No gray.
I'm like, sir, do you not see this 50 Shades of Gray right here? Like,
there's a whole lane right in the middle, and they go around it every time.
Very solution based.
Yeah.
But that's what you
Which
do.
is not a bad thing.
Yeah. I had to figure that out because I feel like I was trying to vent to someone, and they kept giving me solutions, and I'm like, I don't want you to fix my problems right now. I just want you to hear me.
I just want to talk.
Yeah.
I just want to.
But men, when they love you, that's how they show that they love you. They're like,
yeah. Okay.
For sure.
I'm with it.
Yes. Like,
which is like, go off, but
cool.
not all the time.
Like, sometimes we can relax. And then it turns into they think you're over emotional because you're venting. But it's like, sometimes you just need to let that out. But I'm like, I'm going to just leave that to my homegirls. I don't need to talk to you about it.
Yeah,
you just have to find solutions. Like, a relationship is compromised. And I think everyone wants to show up as they are and not change at all. But, like, when you become one with someone, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, really commit to it. And everyone's scared to commit. And that's understandable. But, like, you really need to look at yourself and say, am I ready to compromise with this person and join into one union?
Yeah. Commitment is so scary though, like, especially 2025, like, people are out here doing anything and everything, and they're happy about it and they're proud of it. Because one thing about Gabriell Janae, I'm not getting embarrassed. I might have to catch a body behind embarrassment. Like,
for sure,
hello?
For sure. So,
but you can't think like that. Like, you have to have faith and trust in your partner, even if it might go left.
So
that's hard.
You just have to be super selective.
Yeah.
And take a long time with your vetting process.
Yes.
Really vet these men. I understand it's fun to be, excited and eager to fall in love and, but you really have to stay level-headed and look at this person and say, is this person right for me? Even if you want them to be. Because the person that God has for you is not always the person you want it to be.
Yeah. That cupcake phase, trust me, getting in a relationship from the cupcake phase will get you fucked up every time.
Sure.
Have your cupcake, eat that bitch, love it, have fun. Still, let's be exclusive. Let's go on some more dates. Let's start combining small things in our lives and see how we like that. The moving in together through the cupcake phase and all that, like, and if they're gonna change.
If you know that you cannot handle being intimate with this person and also keeping a clear head,
don't do it.
Then have the self-control.
Do not open your legs, my love.
Okay? Do not do it because it's just gonna bring chaos and confusion into both of y'all's lives. And then on top of that, if you do decide that you don't want to be together, then you guys are going to be stuck, attached with this soul tie.
Sexual exchange.
Not understanding why you can't leave him alone, why he can't leave you alone, and y'all aren't meant to be together.
Yeah.
Like, it's so
His
much.
DNA is literally inside your body,
Yes.
Queen. King, don't be
You'll
spreading
be
your
thinking about
DNA.
him on a random Thursday, 5 years later.
Literally in your dreams, flashbacks, everything.
Okay.
Like,
Leave that man alone, girl.
keep that cookie in the box.
For sure.
Keep that cookie in the box.
For sure.
It's not worth it.
Unless, at least until you feel a little more sure. Like, you do not feel pressured to give it away right away, you know?
I think, like, when it comes to that, yes, be sure of your feelings, but you need to be sure of their feelings. You need to have them spell it out. Or, you know, however they typically express it, whatever, but there should be no wondering when it comes to that. Like, yo, this is what I need some type of reassurance about what's going on here. And if they're weird about it, they don't want to say it, they're acting cagey about it, that's not the person for you.
I almost would argue that if you have to ask, that is the answer.
Yeah.
That's the sign. If you're confused, that's the sign. Like,
Right.
men are very simple. You will not be confused. They will let you know if they
Black
want you.
and white.
Yeah.
So when things start getting gray with a man, it's like, wait a minute.
That's the red flag.
You're scheming. Like, wait a minute.
The gray is the red.
Yeah.
The grandmother was the baby. Okay. Okay. Lord.
The gray is the red.
Okay. I promise you they will let you know if they want you.
And they're so direct most of the time. And that doesn't always mean like an aggressive directness, but it's like, it's clear, concise.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't even mean like asking, what are we? Because what are we is kind of a stupid question to me. I don't know. But how do you feel about me? Let's try that.
Right.
And if they say, oh, we kicking it.
You know,
Yeah, that's not enough for me, sweetie. I do want to do more than kick it. So if you don't want that, that's perfectly fine. But I'm going to go find somebody that wants to probably do a little more than kick it. Because kicking it is not going to get you a life with me. Like, you don't deserve a life with me for kicking it. Let's value ourselves a bit more.
There's definitely a way to go about seeing if you guys are on the same level.
Yeah.
And
like equally yoked.
Yeah. And that can mean a lot of different things equally yoked. Like, mentally on the same wave.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you ready to take it to the next level?
You
like,
have the same morals and principles.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
is there a clear base of communication?
Mm-hmm.
Like, communication, respect, loyalty, these are the basics of a relationship. And like,
the fundamentals of it.
I feel like no one gives a shit about that these days. No one cares. Especially loyalty. I'm like,
yeah.
What is happening?
And it's like, why are we even together if, you know, like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
we could just be homies.
that's what I'm saying. You want to kick it? We can kick it all day. But why are you trying to get me to intertwine my life with you and you're doing whatever?
And that's another thing I was saying about making sure you take your time with the vetting process. Because, again, you'll find yourself being intimate with someone who's supposed to be your friend.
Yeah.
Or they were supposed to be your business partner.
Yeah.
Or they were supposed to just be your homegirl's man. Like, you realize later on, like, damn, he would have been perfect for my girl.
It'd be
And
like
it's
that.
too late because you're sleeping with all your homies.
You already dipped your chip.
Okay.
You already dipped your chip.
Like, don't be double dipping.
Yeah. And then you gotta cut them off, even though they could have been a good asset to your life in a different position. Like,
Yes.
let people play their role. You don't have to try to fit a square peg into a round hole. Like, if you like this guy and you enjoy spending time, but it's just not quite there, just leave it there. You know? Just leave it there. Like, what's wrong with that? I don't think you waste somebody's time, or, you know, guys pay for dates so they be mad when they pay for dates and nothing happens or whatever. Which, not to really say that, like, they just expect you to crack on the first night. But, you know, if you dating a girl and then if they just cut you off or whatever, like, I can understand that would be disappointing.
Yeah.
Because they spending $100 every day, you know.
Right.
And that's money. Like, they're working to date you.
Exactly.
So, I do understand in that aspect. But it's like, as a woman, lay it out that you're casually dating. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I'm dating multiple people, or I'm only dating you, but, you know, I just want to see what's going on.
Yeah, like, stay transparent.
Yeah.
But at the same time, a date is just to get to know someone, you know, and
That's
if it's
true.
not working out, you just got to be real with it up front.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's a lot to navigate, though, especially, like, you don't know how people feel, and people be weird about how they feel. They don't want to tell you, and then it's like, you flying blind every time. You're going off trust that hasn't even developed. Like, you're just outside. You are outside. You're exposed. Mm-hmm. So that's why you got to be on your tens with how you feel.
Right. get really in tune with yourself.
Yeah.
And find your boundaries. That's a big one. If you don't know your boundaries, you're not going to know your red flags. Like, you're not going to know what to look out for.
At all. Yeah. And I think that comes with time, that comes with age, because that comes with coming in and out of relationships too, because you start to deal with certain things and you're like, no.
For sure.
Not doing that. But I also think, like, there has to be a baseline. There has to be a baseline. You can't get with a man because you want a man. Like, that's just not going to work. That's something you can absolutely want, and I want you to want that, because knowing that you want love is so important, because you know why you're going out and doing these things. Knowing that you want a partner, like, that's the only way, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like, there has to be more behind it. I am this type of woman, and this is the type of man that I'm looking for because of XYZ. Because I feel like he will uplift me and I'll be able to uplift him. Because I feel like I will be an amazing mother to his kids. Because this is the future that we both want, you know? Not just, oh, he likes this, so maybe I'll start liking this, you know?
Right.
And that's when you completely lose yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
You definitely need to keep a strong sense of self.
Because I don't think men care about you being yourself, really. Like, I think that's attractive to them. And if you start to change, like, obviously they're going to know this, but if you can think, what is going to stop a man from being himself and being his personality? Mm-hmm. Literally nothing, to a fault. Mm-hmm. Literally, they will not change to a fault. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care, you know?
For sure, yeah.
And women are the first ones to be like, oh, let me assimilate. Let me jump into this, jump into that. I don't think they give a shit about you remaining yourself. If you're on their program, that's good enough for them.
I mean, I think media pushes us to romanticize, like, submitting in that way, where it mm-hmm. seems like we are losing ourselves, and it's like, what can I do for a man? How can I make him fit into my life better? And like, you know, when you're falling in love and stuff, you want to find things that you both can do together.
And that's real. Like, the reality is things are gonna intertwine, lines are gonna be blurred, like, you'll be a part of him, he'll be a part of you, things are gonna change.
I would argue that it is important to, like, find yourself first in a relationship, and then, or find yourself outside of the relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you come in, maintain yourself.
Yeah, that should be a requirement.
Yeah, but, like, it is hard.
Yeah.
What are some things that you do to, like, make sure you keep your own identity when you're merging into one, you know?
Therapy.
That's a big one.
No, like, so, as you know, you're a nephew. I had a child. That really causes you to, like, mentally decline, like, a lot. Because, I mean, obviously, like, the hormones and stuff like that, the chemical side of it, but the mental and emotional strain of pregnancy and all the changes, like, it is a lot. And it affected me way more than I ever thought, and I changed completely, like, down to the bone, like, completely as a person. And I didn't really realize it because I feel like I still had, like, my same thoughts, you know, like, mm-hmm. I still felt like I was thinking like myself, but I wasn't acting like myself, you know? So intensive therapy, reading books, consuming, like, spiritual content and, like, motivational content has really made me realize that, like, yo, you were in a pit for a little minute. Like, you were surviving, you were handling business, which is great, kudos to you, but you need to go back to focusing on you, because it's not going to work otherwise. And things were crumbling, and I'm wondering why. And it's like, girl, who are you? You know? And so it's very important. I think I've always been, like, a headstrong type of person, right? But I don't think my foundation of who I was that great before getting in this relationship. Not at all. And I got in at what, like 22?
Young, for sure.
Yeah, so that's pretty young. I mean, I had, like, one serious-ish relationship before that. And so, and even then, that was in high school. You don't know who you are in high school. Mm-hmm. You don't know shit. Mm-hmm. And we think we know, but we don't.
Yeah. I mean, like, I remember asking you mm-hmm. when you were pregnant and throughout the pregnancy, like, do you feel the same? Like, the hormones and everything. And you were like, yeah, I feel the same. Like, you would say you felt the same, but I also, I'm going to cry. I would see you, and I'm like, you right. You were not acting the same.
I was not the same at all.
Mm-hmm.
But
mentally, we were having a conversation.
Yeah, I'm, like, saying the same type of words, and it just wasn't, there was nothing behind it. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, I never felt like I was being inauthentic. I literally had, like, a horrible crash out. Mm-hmm. Like, when he was maybe like 1. And that's when I realized like something's wrong with you. Like you're having severe postpartum depression because it was just insane. It was like insanity. I wasn't even thinking, like I just crashed out real bad. And that was the only time that I felt anything like different, you know? So I got into therapy that day, like literally that day. And she's like, yeah, like we need to talk about some things because the things that you're describing that you've been feeling this entire time, it seems like they just came to a head. And so that's the only reason I felt like or found out that I had postpartum depression. Okay. And he was already 1. Right. You know, so you just keep going. You just keep working. You just keep taking care of the baby. You keep being in a relationship. You just keep going. Until you can't. Until you can't. Like something literally has to sit me the fuck down. And it did.
So what was the first thing that you did where you were like, okay, I'm going to do this for myself? And no one else. Not the baby, not your husband, not for the betterment of the family. You're like, this is for Gabby.
I think I would say therapy, but I don't think I would be 100% honest. I think, yeah, I mean therapy, yeah, because I knew like something was wrong, but
more like after you had the conversation with the therapist.
Oh, when it started, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think working out and getting in the gym. The gym is my therapy. The gym is my therapy, real bad. I did not have any concept of how much I had like let my body and like personal care go. Because obviously you're taking care of yourself and you're not like gaining 100 pounds, but it's like you're not helping yourself. You know, you're hurting yourself. I was sitting all day. I have a sedentary job. I have a sedentary lifestyle. You know, if you're not up and doing things, like all that weight and even all the trauma and stuff that you carry every day, you're not releasing it. You're literally just laying in it every night when you go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And so when I started approaching it that way, like I need to get in the gym. And I love working out. I always have, but I could never be consistent because things like always came up. But in reality, you can't do that. You literally have to drop everything and go to the damn gym. Mm-hmm. And that was my self-care. It didn't matter what was going on. If I was on schedule to go to the gym that day, I treated it like clocking into work. I have to go to the gym at this time. Don't call me. Don't say shit to me. I'm going to the gym. Right. And it would just release so much for me. Right.
I think a big part of finding yourself is figuring out what makes you feel centered and grounded. And for you, it seems like going to the gym was that first thing that you noticed. Mm-hmm. Like for me, I know, honestly, like listening to the word or listening to sermons really makes me feel grounded. So that's something that I'm like, no matter what, like I'm trying to go to church or like, if I don't go to church, I want to get a sermon in this week. Right. Like get in how I fit in, you know what I mean? But I found that in isolation. I was fortunate enough to be like, I have isolation and I can read myself very well. But it's harder when you have a family and you have other people that you have to put before yourself.
Yeah. Well, there's so much outside influence. Even if you're you by yourself, there's so much outside influence that clouds everything we think about. And thoughts are just thoughts. Emotions are just emotions. They pass and they either get stuck or you push them through, you know, and they just go through. And so it's like, you're living your life, you have your own thoughts, and then you put on all the thoughts and emotions of everything happening around you, other people's thoughts and emotions that you're dealing with, situations and things like that. Like, it's a lot. It is. And so if you're not, like you said, grounded in something that keeps you clear and can bring you back home when you're stressed or whatever the case, you get lost in that. And I know people right now that are lost in that.
I mean, you know, I would leave for a point in time and come back. Yeah. And then when I say I was isolated, I mean deep isolation. Yeah, right? No one's speaking to me. I'm constantly in a self-pondering, self-reflecting state of mind.
A whole meditation.
Okay, big philosopher. You feel me? And that's where I felt grounded. I would always pray when I came home, like, God, like, help me not be distracted. Like, help me keep my own, like, mind, my own energy. You feel me? And this is the first time I really came home where I felt like I know how to center myself. I found my foundation of source that makes me feel grounded. Right. So I just got to tap into that energy. When you find that, don't let that go. Ever. Like, that is you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your inner voice.
That's your inner voice.
That's your higher self. Like, talk to you like, sis, just be cool. So do you think with you knowing how to better center yourself, because you went through a lot, like, to be clear, and a lot of growth, a lot of development, a lot of things that you definitely learned about yourself, which maybe we'll talk about in a different episode. But when it comes to coming home, where there are distractions, there is drama. Let's just keep it a bean. There's shit going on. Do you feel like that's partly contributed to the fact that you're okay with being home? You're even happy to be home. You feel at peace at home with everything that you learned in the past year.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I had been thinking of retiring for
a little minute.
3 years.
A little minute.
And this being the first time where I feel like I'm moving the same way I did when I was overseas makes me feel more comfortable and relaxed with that. Like, I am taking the time to journal. I'm not partying as much.
Journaling is so important.
It's almost like I was living 2 different lives. And I felt like I had to cut the old me out all the way. And people that knew me from my past it wasn't that they wouldn't let me change, but there was so much change that I almost felt like, okay, well, I don't need to change then. Like, I can just, go with the flow and let them think what they think and fit in how I usually fit into their lives. But then within that, I found myself doing things that I wasn't comfortable doing. And it wasn't until last summer I said, I'm setting my boundaries this summer.
Yeah.
No means no. I'm not dating. No, you cannot kiss me. Yeah. No, I don't want to dance with you. No, I don't want to go drinking with you. I mean, there's so much. We'll talk about it later, y'all, but there's so much that goes into that.
3 whole episodes.
You have to find who you are truly, figure out your boundaries, your principles, your morals, and stand on that.
Right. I think as well, like, just figuring out the simple fact of, like, you are your own person, but so many things influence you. And that's not bad, right? We literally live in the world. Like, we can't just not live in the world. It's cool. But obviously being centered, knowing who you are. But I think another thing too is just releasing other people's expectations of you is huge. Whether it be your partner, whether it be your friends, family, whatever, release their expectations of you because you're trying to live somebody else's life. You're literally trying to fit into, what did I say earlier, a square peg in a round hole? But it's you, and it's completely damaging your sense of self. It's damaging your guiding light. It's completely damaging because you're following somebody else's vision. For sure. That's not you.
And that's another big thing that I've been facing since I've been home. With retirement comes a career change. And, like I say, when you vent, everyone wants to fix your problems.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not sure what I want to do, and this. And everyone's like, well, I see you doing this, and I see you doing that, and I see you doing this.
And not bad ideas.
Right, they're not. And I see it too.
Yeah.
But I know what my passion project is now. Before, if I would have tried to come home sooner, I would have been like, well, maybe I should just try what they're saying. But I have my boundaries now. I know what I expect for work. I know what I can handle.
Right.
And I'm going to stay true to that. I'm not going to let anyone's words affect my decisions anymore. Yeah.
You got to. I think that's part of being an adult, like just learning that fact. And it takes a long time. It
really does, especially when you're a child who's not used to being able to express yourself and you don't have a say in your household and stuff like that. Like, that's a big thing, learning to find your voice and stand up for yourself. Yeah. Oh, that's the bell.
Oh, y'all, we gotta get up out of here.
All right.
Like and subscribe for more content.
See you next class.
Join Yap U. That's a wrap.